Hey guys, welcome to another video. I hope you're all having a great week so far. So, the topic of my video today, this is a deep one, and it's something that I've been battling for the last few weeks myself, and it's something I definitely had to get off my chest, because if you run into this yourself, it can literally destroy you and send you back home, and you probably wouldn't recover straight away from it. So one thing I definitely notice about myself coming out here is that I'm slowly losing myself. And what do I mean by this? Now, I'll paint you a picture of who I used to be before coming out to Southeast Asia. I very, very rarely went out, drank very, very little. I used to do men's physique bodybuilding competitions quite regularly. I did that from 2019 to 2023. So if anyone knows how that normally works, that you don't normally, or you're very restricted to what you can do on a normal day basis, and that even goes to just even food in general, just going out at the weekend to take your missus out for a meal, things like that. It's extremely restricted. And I would hardly do, I would hardly drink, hardly go out. Food again, I was extremely well with that. And since being out here, it kind of turns you into someone who you are not. I'll give you a little description of what I'm like now. I still go to the gym. I still pretty much diet on most days. But I find myself more than anything going out every single weekend. Every single week, just, trying to chase women or something along the lines of that. And what's really prompted me to do this video was I was listening to a track by Meek Mill. It's like a mixtape of something that he did, and the line was, "Don't chase your addictions, chase your dreams." So that line again is, "Don't chase your addictions, chase your dreams." And it really hit home, because that's what I've been doing, and that's what it turns you into, this place. And that can be anywhere around the world. It could be Colombia, Brazil, it can be Dominican Republic, Thailand, Philippines, Cambodia, wherever it's somewhat easy living and the passport bro movement is going to. It can change you who you are. And I would definitely consider myself a very, very disciplined individual prior to coming out here. But I definitely feel that slipping. And you've got to be so careful, because you don't see it happen, and sometimes it might be too late, and before you know it, you're literally waking up every day, probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon, still hungover from last night, and going to the bars, and you've got a girl that you've never even, you don't even know her name, right next to you. Believe me, that can happen quite frequently, and it definitely happens to most men out here as well when they first come out here, because it's like the analogy of that you've been starved of food for so long, you've been starved from, the candy store analogy that a guy called Myron Gaines uses quite a lot, is you've been looking at this candy store for ages, the door's been locked for so long, and then now you've been released into this candy store, and you've just gone wild and ate everything you can as much as possible. Well, that's what can happen to you out here. So guys, for the love of God, don't lose yourself. And it's not just me. I've spoken to many individuals out here. I'm coaching people out here that have gone through that situation as well. And I'm sure he won't mind me saying it, but there's a guy who's in his late 30s, used to always wake up late, go out every week, every day pretty much. And this is very, very common for the guys that are retirees or retired early, or they're just getting a regular wage from their home country, so they don't actually have to work. All they do is just come from their country out here, and they don't really have to do anything. As guys, we've got to realise as well, just because we are at a stage where we can let be a little bit easy on ourselves, doesn't mean that we can't be disciplined. And something that I've definitely realised, that I need to control this as much as possible, because again, it will send me back to where I don't want to be. And I'm hoping that's the same for yourselves as well. So what I've started doing now is like planning my times that I'm going to go out, or making it milestones. So milestones such as I have to earn a certain amount of money, or I have to get a certain amount of clients, things like that. For the guys who are retired, obviously that might be a little bit different, where you could just do like a sport, or you could get yourself into better shape, be in the best shape of your life. And I know this is a bit of a shameless plug, but that's what I do. I get guys into the best shape of their lives. So if you ever are looking for that, some form of project outside of obviously yourself, and someone to give you the motivation and to give you like some form of direction, obviously hit me up. But it doesn't have to be me. You can, join a boxing club. It can be like anything. Like, it doesn't even have to be that. It could be something that's mentally challenging as well. So, guys, do not lose yourself to these places, because it is so easily done. Something that really woke me up in Angeles was that how similar it was to Dominican Republic, to Thailand. When you go to these places, what you see normally is guys in the bars from 12 o'clock to God knows when, literally sat there with their drink, just watching people walk by. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but when that's on a daily basis, that is something that you're doing, that's your life. What kind of life is that? Remember, we are men. We're supposed to fight wars. We're meant to protect. We're meant to be disciplined. And I think struggle is definitely good. I think we have to have struggle in our lives, because it's not who, at the end of the day, that's what we've been faced. Something I've definitely realised over the time that I've gone into my 30s is that I'm in pain most days. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not good. Pain from obviously getting older, pain for, from working out in the gym and beating my body to a pulp. You know what I mean? And you're probably saying, well, that's not healthy. Well, it's helping my body to be stronger. It's helping my body to last longer and things like that. So, guys, you need to suffer a little bit. There's no point just living life on just eating more all the time, because you're going to lose who you are. You're going to lose the drive that you got to get here. Trust me, you need to realize that. So if you're going to take anything from this video, at least realize that you could be slowly losing who you are. That person that was so motivated to get up in the morning, that person who was driven to get that new project out of the way. Don't lose that person, because before you know it, that guy could be gone. Hope you've got something from this video. Please like and subscribe, and share this video to someone that who might value this video. And I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.